Hello everyone, Likely Matt here. I just got back from seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and wanted to give my thoughts about the movie, and why, now every time someone asks, what's your favorite movie, I can now give them an answer. Just to be clear, it's Sonic 3, just to be very obvious. The Sonic the Hedgehog movies have now become ingrained in my brain since 2019 when he looked like this. Oh dear heavens, what the hell did they do to my boy? Obviously they fixed that and the 2020 movie was pretty decent. Didn't take too much inspiration from the games, but it had enough for it to be enjoyable for the fans and enough for any parents who were forced to get dragged along in. And obviously the second one was a huge improvement, having Tails and Knuckles and the Chaos Emeralds. It was a huge improvement over the first one. But obviously the third one came into mind. You see, in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the post-credits scene, we got our first look at Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, the people on the internet went nuts at this information. We were finally going to be getting one of the best characters in Sonic history, and probably one of the most loved in Sonic history. The first two movies were great, but this one could be even better than the first three in every way if Sega and Paramount did this right. I wonder how that turned out. It's also important to note that people were also very worried. They could easily ruin our chances of having a good movie with wrong choice. And, you know, that isn't a great thought, but it's a thought nonetheless. And we finally got the release date of 2024 on December 20... I don't know, it was different depending on countries, 21st where I am, I think. When I walked into the theaters with my relative who conveniently bought the tickets for me so I didn't have to mortgage a house, I was admittedly very excited, and with a hint of nervousness. I was ecstatic that I would finally be getting the third movie, the one I'd been waiting for since I walked out of theaters after seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The movie finally started, and by the end of it, I was absolutely blown away. You see, if you didn't know already, this movie was taking inspiration from Sonic Adventure 2, and this game is widely praised by the fanbase. And obviously, people were absolutely thrilled that we're going to be getting a movie based off this masterpiece of a game. And also, for some reason, Mufasa released on the exact same day. I don't know, I guess Disney was feeling confident with their live-action prequel of The Lion King. But, yeah, I don't think that turned out well for them. As soon as Shadow appeared on screen, I knew I was in for a treat. He was absolutely going at it with the gun henchman. He was powerful, he was strong, and supremely better than Sonic in every way possible.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
This movie also had a lot of other things from Sonic Adventure 2. To stuff like Super Shadow and Super Sonic, which I'll get into in a moment. Maria and Gerald Robotnik, the Eclipse Cannon. Oh man, this movie is just, oh my god, it's so good. And with a character like Shadow, the plot got a bit darker as well, and was experimented on because of his immense power. And obviously he befriended Maria and was living a happy life, until Gun decided to murder them. Shadow got put in stasis for 50 years, and monitored by Gun so that he wouldn't escape and cause chaos. I wonder how long that lasted. Almost everything about this movie was great. The comedy was near perfect. While there was like a joke or two that I was like, okay, yeah, that isn't that great, I still enjoyed most of the jokes. And almost every single character had a great arc. Sonic, Shadow, Robotnik himself, Gerald, they all had great arcs within the movie that all really worked together. With Sonic going through experiences that's really testing whether he's gonna let the pain change who he is. And Shadow looking past his pain to do the right thing when the choice really mattered. Plus, the acting got improved with Jim Carrey taking on two roles of Dr. Eggman and Gerald Robotnik. Plus, we got Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow, and yes, it was very cool in theaters. But obviously, Sonic and Shadow turn into Super Sonic and Super Shadow with Live and Learn in the background. The action as a whole is obviously the best part of this movie. Every scene was so well made and inducing adrenaline. Oh man, it felt so amazing. And oh my god, the last 30 minutes is where the action really kicked in with Super Sonic and Super Shadow. The fact that the two of them go super, annihilate some robots, and then stop the Eclipse Cannon after it cut off a piece of the moon on accident.
Somebody better call Google Maps.
What can you do? This movie managed to take an iconic moment in Sonic history and make it so good on the big screen. The entire movie is just absolutely impressive. It is pure perfection in my eyes. And like I said at the beginning, now I have an answer to that question. This is my favorite movie of all time. I love it to bits. So far the movie is A, completely destroying Mufasa in literally not even that long. It's been a few days and it's already really obvious. Secondly, it's being praised. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes is a great example because the critics made it higher than the 60s. It's in the 80s. This is what I'm talking about. And the audience score is once again at a peak in the 90s. And yes, if you check IMDb, you'll likely see one idiot just complaining. Like this one saying that the only people who would enjoy it are young children and Sonic fans, but everyone else would be bored throughout the runtime. And now, I am at his house with a gun in my hand. So, yeah, the Sonic 3 movie is actually a cinematic masterpiece. One of the better video game movies. Okay, who am I kidding? It's one of the best video game movies. And Sonic the Hedgehog 1 walked so Sonic the Hedgehog 2 could run, so Sonic the Hedgehog 3 could go at light speed and burn my eye sockets, but I'm very glad for that. This movie managed to take everything I ever wanted from the third movie of this amazing set of movies and managed to end this trilogy with an absolute banger. Yeah, obviously the post-credit scenes had to have something. Not only did we get Metal Sonic, but Amy Rose, who I was expecting to be in this movie, but it makes sense that she'd be in the fourth one, because if we crammed her in, and then Sonic 3 would have had too much. And I think it's perfect the way it is. So hopefully Sonic 4 will be even better than the third one, or at least on the same level, because I am very sick of those angry reviews. How are they still giving crap to this? Besides that, this movie is getting praised, and it's making more and more money, and in my opinion, it is one of my favorite movies of 2024. I've seen so many movies this year. Transformers 1, Deadpool and Wolverine, Despicable Me 4, Inside Out 2, even more. And this one just managed to meet so many expectations, was so enjoyable, and I intend on watching this like a million more times. Thank you so much for watching about me ranting about this movie. So, please watch this movie. Please, prove those angry critics wrong. Also, don't watch Mufasa. It's just a bad movie, and I'm gonna lose my mind if that somehow makes more money than Sonic 3. And I'll probably make a video about the fourth movie when it comes out. So, this is my thoughts on the Sonic 3 movie and why it is the best Sonic movie, heck, video game movie, heck, one of my favorite movies of 2024 ever made. Yeah, it was pretty good, actually.